All right, folks, welcome back to week 2 of Glacedia Draft League Season 2, where we will be having the Dodo Delinquents facing off against Tactical Flong Strike. Now, both of these teams are 1-0 to start off the season, but only one of them is coming out with a still perfect record. We have Frozen, we have Shadow Ender facing off. Let's get right into it. And the battle has begun. We have Glacedia facing off against Hatrix. Frozen is on the side of the Dodo Delinquents. That is Glacedia Earth against Hatrix Pylon setup, as well as Pursuit. It doesn't go for the switch, but that Pursuit still does big damage. Pylons is, either way, a solid setup for Tactical Flong Strike. Shadow Ender, a newcomer on the team, just arrived the other day and is already thrusted into action, playing a battle. We'll see how it works out for them. Obviously, unfortunate circumstances. One of the members had to leave. Dark Blast with a critical hit does not land the KO, but it's major damage. Either way, Dodo Delinquents start off this game with a 1-0 lead. That Pylon's good work, but obviously the Hatrix could not do enough. Here comes Stallion Female. One of the last picks by Tactical Flong Strike making an appearance here. Glacedia Earth was the second round pick for Frozen and the Dodo Delinquents. Hatrix was the first overall pick out of the entire draft. We'll have to see what happens here. Shadow Ender still looking for that decision to be made. The other members, there's the Awakening on Stallion as it uses Psycho Force for the easy KO. And just like that, we're tied. The Dodo Delinquents, they are not just Frozen, but they also have Amari, VIP, and Casualty, while Tactical Flong Strike also has Shadowcat and Apollo. Pylons attacking the brand new Catholos. The unique Jolly or Joyful Tint Catholos, as it's likely gonna want to use its dark type attacks on the Stallion. And there's the switch into Tulena. It goes for quick thinking, so its magic attack and speed get boosted. But this Tulena could pose a big threat with the Unwashed Plushie. Obviously not Awakening, because we've already seen the Awakened Stallion. And we now know 3 of the 6 Doodles on Tactical Flong Strike's side. Tulena was the 6th round pick for TFS. And here is Gobblegoo. Pylons for a little bit of chip. Life Sap does nothing. And there's really not much this Tulena can do against the Gobblegoo. We'll likely have to see a switch. There it is. Back to Stallion. And Lily Pad Leap for the pivot. Pretty good damage as well. And a really strong position for Frozen, as it might just be a good back and forth. Either way, I think Shadow Ender wouldn't mind a little bit of that because of the Pylon chip, especially on this Catholos, which could be really scary. There's Flashbang. A little bit of lag with a critical hit, leaving it at just over 50% HP. We might have to see a switch now. I don't think this Stallion can do anything to this, especially considering that Catholos probably has Siphon Soul, which would heal up most of what it lost and pose that even all that chip just useless. But we'll see. Could Frozen make a prediction play? Will they go back to quick thinking as Tulena is brought back in? Storm heal, so it's just going for the heal. Either way, And And there's really no use in chipping. We might have to see a double switch from Shadow Ender. A big prediction play. And there it is. Into Volsidian. As Gobblegoo is brought in. And Shadow Ender successfully reads the play. And Volsidian is on the field. The last Doodle on the TFS roster. Just close the door real quick. Oh, there we go. And yes, Frozen will have to switch. That's a really awkward position for the Gobblegoo. And Ariel does next to nothing to the Volt Enchant that was just brought in. Likely Awakening. Meaning this Volsidian will have to switch. There's the Awakening. From Volt Enchant. Downpour. Weakening all fire moves. And Tulena is brought back in. Wave Shot to take away the pylons. Frozen has a lot of coverage for the team so far. Can completely wall the Gobblegoo. There's the double switch once again. And Stallion is brought back in. But even now, Frozen's fine. The Stallion is walled by the Catholos. The Tulena is walled by the Gobblegoo. And the Volsidian is walled by the Volt Enchant. Aurora Flash, big damage. And a correct prediction once again by Shadow Ender. Keeping him in this game. A major play. But now this Catholos poses a major threat in the rain. Either way, it goes for the Aurora Flash. And this Catholos is down. That is some big news for Shadow Ender and Tactical Flong Strike as they take the lead. A new Doodle, Mamolten, is now in play. Usually a pure ice type, but can turn into a fire type as well. The third round pick by the Delinquents. And also one of the 3 main Runic Doodles. They picked 3 Runic Doodles out of the first 5 options they had. The other 2 picks being Glacedia, Earth, and Gobblegoo. And we'll see what the play is here. As Stallion switches back into Volsidian, and it just tanks the Cone of Cold. Interesting play. And just like that, the Volsidian's gone, but the rain has also stopped. Now comes in Clangatang, the second round pick. Could be scary with a fire move, but at the same time, this Mamolten could be enchanted, considering it outsped the Volsidian. Iron Slash, good damage on the Gobblegoo, but the Spiky Thorns will chip back. I do believe that Mamolten is enchanted, so meaning it would only be able to do 1 attack while it's out in play. And obviously, wow, there is the KO. Just letting the Gobblegoo go down. And it's a 4v3 in favor of Shadow Ender and Tactical Flong Strike. Against all the circumstances, this is a really solid position. And there's the last Doodle. It is Velodo, the first round pick for the Dodo Delinquents and the mascot. Finally making its appearance. How will it do? How will it handle the final 4 Doodles? One of them still unknown. It could be Caramello, it could be Serpentine, it could be Zerzura, it could be Mold, Kadere, Meltamaw, Mass Comedy. Shadowender still thinking of the right play to make. 1 minute left on that timer. And there's a switch. Into the last Doodle, it is Mold. And Daze does hardly anything. While the Spiky Thorns does just about the same in return. And that is a really interesting last Doodle, as it can do a pretty good job against the remaining 3 Doodles here. And Frozen's now in a really awkward spot, as this Mold could really threaten this Veloto and anything that's brought in play. And even with a hit and run, the Spiky Thorn strip would be detrimental to Frozen. There's the hit and run, just going for the chip. Tanking that Spiky Thorns. Perhaps realizing that that's all really needed. There's the Goo Blast. Big damage, not enough, but it does get the poison. And that is really not good news for Frozen. There's the switch back into Tulena. Climate Shot. Even then, hardly anything. Detox can just heal back up. And that Poison Chip finishes it off. It is now Veloto and Mamolten against a whole 4 Doodles. Still pretty healthy. And there's the hit and run once again for the KO. We're not done yet. Frozen lands the big knockout, and it is now a 2v3. This Mamolten is brought into play. And here is Clangatang. Now, Frozen could hit it with a fireball, but the downpour would not only weaken it, but also Shadow Ender could bring in Mold and completely wall it. There's an Earth Surge, goes for the Earth move. Much more better play. Obviously, you're not going for the fireball. And now, all of a sudden, it's tied. And it isn't as clear of a victory for Shadow Ender. This Mamolten could pose a major threat. That Earth Surge could finish the job on the Mold and on the Stallion. But even if that's not the case, the Veloto could still save the day. And just like that, it feels like all of the momentum is in the Dodo Delinquents' favor. Here comes Stallion. Instantly clicking Flashbang. Taking that chip. And now, the rain is gone. And then there's a big switch into Mold. Just tanking the hit. It would have survived. And Mold could have done some big damage. Earth Surge, once again. I believe that might just be it. There's the Flashbang. One little bit more of chip. But Earth Surge is faster. And just like that, the Dodo Delinquents take the game 2-0. And what an end that was. Dodo Delinquents start off the season 2-0. And that Mamolten proved to be the hero for the team. As what an end that was. Obviously, an unfortunate outcome for the tactical Flong strike, as once again they had to go through a new team member, get them accustomed to the season, as they were just a backup beforehand, and then all of a sudden they had to play in that first game. Either way, that was an outstanding performance by both sides. And we'll just have to see how they do in week 3. Hopefully, Tactical Flong Strike can get back on track. Move up to a 2-1 record. And hey, we'll see what happens with Dodo Delinquents. Could they go 3-0? Could we have another undefeated team this season? We'll have to find out later. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.